Hey everyone, so in today's video we're gonna be talking about the new way of getting high ticket coaching clients by leveraging human psychology. And believe me or not bro, like it's 26 pages. Took me like almost more than 7 days to prepare for it. A really important note before we begin. It will sound like a gimmick bro, but like if you judge the video in like first 1 minute, nothing will make sense, right? And you will stay at the same place. Now from your perspective, I completely understand it, which is why like if you want to click off, then please do, right? But like I would say like at least watch it for a few minutes and then decide for yourself, right? And I'll try my best to make your time count, right? Why will this work? Well, because it worked for me. As you can see, I booked call, got inbound messages, got my video to like 170 views, got all these testimonials, and it not just worked for me but also for my client, right? But more important, it's not based on like some tactics or like some shiny object that changes every few months, which is why most people's system fail. It's built on human behavior, right? Which is like same all over everywhere, right? So without any ado, let me just begin with it. So overview, it's gonna be insanely simple yet a killer way to get high ticket coaching clients, right? So it's really like understanding humans, and based on those understanding of human behaviors, we will learn how to create YouTube videos that books us calls, right? So let's just begin with it, right? So understanding humans in your niche, right? So important note, I'm gonna go extremely deep now, so bring your consciousness to the video, full screen it and whatever, so this is a person that you're trying to sell, right? But before we actually understand their current self, let's see how their life really shaped them, because like what we want to know is not their adult self but like their kid self that got evolved into this, like freaking like 6 feet person, right? So this is the person that we see right now, but they are built on their traumas, their desires, their belief, latent triggers that we're going to discuss later, their experiences, and infinite more things, right? Now, some people like some people might say that I already know all this, but like just bear with me for a second, bro, and like decide for yourself. So if you gotta understand that the person that you're trying to sell from now on, they are not just like a walking head figure that will just give you money, right? At some point they were a 2-year old or a 3-year old kid, right? And for you it's really important to understand that kid, because like no one really paid importance to that kid, right? Fair warning, it is something that you should absolutely use to help someone. If you do it for personal profit, it will bite you back, like, and you cannot even imagine it. So anyways, let me just begin with it, right? So kids learn in like really different way than human does, right? Or like the young adults does, right? These kids, like, they learn from people's reaction. So for example, like if some kid, they spill the milk on the table and their parents get angry instantly, they might never spill the milk again on the table, but like the reason behind that is completely faked, right? Because um it's just like why they are doing what they are doing, right? So which is why like it's important for you to understand that from 0 to 7, any kid, they build a ton of belief like these, which are built upon wrong foundations, right? So obviously this example that I gave about like milk spilling, they might never spill the milk again, but it's built on the wrong foundation, right? And I'm gonna talk about it later, but like let me just go with it right now. So like, and for 99% people, they are on their ending moments, and they do not even realize this truth, that they just think that life just happened to them, right? Which is why like there is this quote, until you make your subconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Which is why like you have to be really self-aware of how things are happening to you and why are they happening to you. But anyways, back to the topic. The big thing for you to understand is that these person in your niche, they are cultivated from their experiences that they had between, let's just say your audience is between like the ages of 18 and 25. Then like you have to understand that the person you are trying to sell, they are built from the ages of 0 and 18, right? And those experiences have shaped their belief in certain ways, and these beliefs then create the false sense of reality, right? So what do I mean by this? For example, I was a swimmer as a kid, right? So now just because like the experiences I had as a kid, it shaped my life, and now I associate water with calmness, with solitude, and with peace, right? To some degree. But for other person, they might have the experiences of kind of like drowning in water, right? Which is like, people exaggerate it, but whatever, where they cannot breathe, right? So their experiences might have shaped their belief to now associate water with danger, right? I hope it made sense. But like, now those beliefs create a reality that is fake, right? But like, since we are not conscious of this fake reality, we believe it to be true, right? So like, since that person is not aware that water is not really a danger, they believe it to be, like, not safe, right? And they believe it to be true. So, like, their experiences of kind of drowning in water made their conclusion of their experiences and assumptions that water is not safe for everyone, and that is the advice they will give it to everyone, right? And that is the belief that is formed, right? And they think that this is their reality that they are standing on, somewhat like this. And again, I'm gonna tell you like how to use all of this information, so do not worry about it, right? But now the actual question is like, what is the reality? The answer to that is perspective. Why? Because like, if we bring that swimming example back, we were both right from our own perspective, right? I was right from my own perspective, and that other person would be right from his own perspective, right? Now, how do you actually use this information to create videos that books you calls, right? Look, till now we have been talking just about like one person, that this one person had these experiences and that one person had this specific belief. But niche is not made of one person, right? It is made of like hundreds of thousands of person, which is why like to do separately for everyone, it's kind of impossible, right? Which is why, look at this. Now, instead of finding out separate experiences, we will find the common experiences that they had, and we will continue our process the same way, right? So here's what I mean by it. My niche, which is like you guys, which is like high ticket coaches providing real value on YouTube but still struggling to book calls, and would love to add 20 to 50k MRR in, like their new MRR, right? By the way, if that's you, like, you know what to do, book the call from first link in the description. But whatever, in my niche, here are some common experiences of you guys, right? Which I've written down, and believe me, like, I've written down like what, 28 or 29 pages, where it's just about your pains, your desires, your belief, and I read it like every single week, right? Help me create better videos. But whatever. So the problem is conversion and content. They are getting views, or maybe not. They are posting valuable content, but they are not just able to convert sometimes because of how the content is posted or because of their funnel, right? And they just keep trying different things. They just keep tweaking different things and hoping something works, right? And if that's you, you should book a call from link in the description, right? And the next thing is pain. Like, they feel like they are wasting their time putting into creating YouTube videos, which is true, just losing money on the table. Plus, they also waste a shit ton of time on trying different things, which is again true, right? So you now do the same shit for your own niche, right? Because like, this is really, really important step, that you do this for your own self, right? Now, understand that this is really, really important before you even try and create a YouTube video that books you calls on automation and makes you money, right? So, well, how can I even talk about all of this with just like 10 or like getting 200 views? Because, like, channel is new, but whatever, because in all honesty, the goal is to book calls, and I have done that, right? It's to get DMs, and I have gotten them, right? So just for proof, like, all of this, you can pause and read them. But now, since that is out of our way, well, before even creating or like learning how to create YouTube videos that books you call, we should actually learn the environment of YouTube, right? Understanding the elements of the YouTube, and then we will learn how to play with these elements and books called, right? So understanding the channel data, right? Whatever you watch from the same YouTube channel that you post from, it affects YouTube data, right? It can change what YouTube perceives who your target audience is. Now, my channel's name is like Manav Unfiltered, right? So if from that channel I watch stand-up comedy videos, then like it will affect my YouTube data, and YouTube might perceive my target audience to be the audience of like stand-up comedians, which is completely gonna affect the thing, right? So, and if that happens, not only you will have like a shit CTR, but a really bad watch time, and your video will die within just like 18 to 24 hours, right? So in my opinion, do not watch any entertainment video that could change the YouTube data. On the other side, if possible, watch more of the videos on the same topic that you create videos of. So from this channel, I only watch coaching content, right? Now, second thing is how to actually come up with a killer idea, right? We're gonna be learning exactly how to create a killer idea that your audience is dying to watch. Quick note, remember the foundation of the system is understanding humans in your niche. Again and again, I'm saying this, and I will paste a kind of playlist in the I section that you can watch. And after this video, obviously, because I want my watch time, right? So, anyways, in my opinion, I would say like do not really come up with a killer idea, and I will tell you why, but let me just begin with these methods and I will talk about it, right? So method number one, how to create a killer idea. Go to the YouTube channel of the best guys in your niche and model their stuff, right? So example like this is Charlie's, one of the most popular video, and instead of copying anything, I just modeled his video for myself, right? As you can see, and in the value section of the video, both of the videos are completely different, like the way they should be, because understand that we are modeling their idea of the video, which is proven. We are not copying their content, and I would never recommend you doing it, right? Because YouTube is a platform where uniqueness work, right? So if, for example, like if I would have just put same value as Alex Hormozi, would you watch him or Alex? Would you watch me or Alex Hormozi, right? Obviously him, because like he's proven and all that shit, right? So you still have to make sure that you come out to be different. We are just taking the model idea, not copying the video, right? So caveat to it, find topics that actually interest you. Do not make any video for just the sake of views. It never really works, right? I have tried it, but like never really worked for me. Method number two, which is actually really, really good cheat code, Avid IQ, right? It's kind of an app, right, which you can buy. It's like $4 or $5. So this section in vidIQ, like as you can see, the outlier section, it's gonna tell you videos that work better than others, right? So model video from vidIQ's outlier section, right? So this was the video that came up on my thing. Basically, like you have to integrate your channel and it's authenticated by YouTube, so you don't have to worry about it. I have done for myself, and like it will suggest topics related to your niche, right? And this is the most viewed video. Like I just modeled this video, and this is now my most viewed video, right, with like 170 or maybe even 200 views. But I would say like do not use this app for anything else. It did not work for me, at least, right? Now method number three, which is like actually coming up with the killer idea, and only use this if you already have an established YouTube channel. If not, I would say like skip this part, because like these above two methods are enough for you to get your first few clients, and then you can play with these, like creating your own ideas, right? So sometimes you will not be able to find videos on topics that interest you, and you wouldn't want to make videos on them, right? Completely fair. So if you come up with a new idea, just telling you a kind of fact, which is like the chances of your video going viral increases a lot, right? Which should not be your goal, but it still is helpful, right? But anyways, back to the point. If you want to do it, mix what gets you traction and what interests you. So for example, for my particular channel, if I put client acquisition in my title, it gets me views, right? And I have to mix it with something that interests me. So for example, let's just say like personally, maybe for me, like just maybe, let's just say human psychology interests me, right? So I can mix human psychology with high ticket clients, and I'm gonna get views. Along with that, I'm gonna also book calls, right? This was how to create a killer idea for a killer video, right? The third thing is like coming up with titles and thumbnails. Now look, this matters a lot more than people think. It's not just to help you get you clicks, but like it's one of the biggest factors that YouTube analyzes before deciding who to push your videos towards, right? So you have to be really careful while framing them. Just to give you an example, like few days ago, one of videos came up on my YouTube recommended section, which was like how to get clients in the festive season. Now the title or like the idea of the video is really good, but the thing was like including festive season in your title is not really good idea in my opinion, because YouTube probably is not gonna understand that keyword, and it's gonna like mass push it, and your video is gonna die, right? So if you've got proof slash testimonial, use them in titles, right? But in the like in the end, like it's very different for each person, which is why like there is not much I should say about it, because like it really like varies from person to person. Next thing, which is YouTube description and tags. Another really important thing, look, after title and thumbnail, the thing that comes into play is YouTube description. YouTube also analyzes YouTube description. I would recommend you using tags if you have a beginner channel or YouTube does not completely know your audience, or you are trying different topic, right? And yeah, like it really helps a lot, because like I struggled with it for a freak ton of time, right? I mean like, and I even do to some degree right now, but like it's getting better. And yeah, and talking about tags, well, YouTube says it does not really matter much. I like to use them because, as I told you, like it's kind of freaking with me right now. Impressions, if you have done these above things right, you don't have to worry about impressions. The only thing about impressions is like you have to get them from the right people, and if you do these above thing right, you will get them from right people, right? CTR, again, like all of this will take care of itself. Now, average view duration, this is really important, because if viewer clicks on your video but you cannot like retain them, YouTube is not gonna push, and a good AVD is maybe around like 20 to 30%. So if you can nail your hook, you might just have a chance to have an AVD of 15 to 25%. If it's below, YouTube does not push your videos, right? Which is why like it's important for them to watch the video. My most video, it has like a retention of like 17%, kind of bad, but like again, for new channels, I think like that is kind of good. So anyways, talking about it, so we have like hook, which is like really important part for you to nail if you want to have a good AVD, right? So which is hook includes of authority, social proof, and why is it important for them to watch the video right now, right? So go and watch my hook. I think I should, or like I did it right, but like we will know from this video, right? So this was understanding how YouTube actually works, and I really went tactical on it, right? There is nothing much more to say about it. And yeah, like there are a lot more things than this, but I think, bro, like this is more than enough, right? Now the big part comes, which is like how to create YouTube videos that books you calls on automation, right? Leveraging human behavior. So first thing is like understanding the first principles of human behavior that evokes the desired action from your viewers. Now I'm assuming that all of you will probably have different niches, which is why again like we're gonna talk in first principles, right? And again, like I have booked calls from like just, and right now I have like 12 subs, and I have booked like 3 to 4 calls just off of that, right? So how to create YouTube videos that evoke action. So first principle is leveraging pain, right? So try and imagine something like this, this is the current situation of the person that you're trying to sell, and this is their desired situation. So current is like bad health, bad relationship, bad money, 3 really broad topics that have most of the problems. Desired situation is like good health, good relationship, good money, right? So in between their current situation and desired situation, there is a gap, right? And this gap is the pain. And look, this is something that a lot of people freak up with. You cannot really create pain, right? I mean, like people try and create pain saying that, oh, you're not making 10K a month, how do you call yourself a, I don't know, high earning person, right? So that is not gonna do anything to the other person. You can only amplify the existing pain. So for example, like if I have a pain of making money and you say the same thing to me, it's gonna affect me differently, right? So now the goal is to just find their pain, amplify it through your videos, right? And as a result of that, you will get the desired action, which is booking calls, right? So how do you do it? So this is the person in your niche, and we went through this diagram earlier, but this is a new one, which is like human needs, right? Which is like physiological needs, safety and security, and at the end we have self-actualization. Now when we mix these personal traumas, desires, belief along with these broad human needs, we get their pain, right? We get exactly what is the pain in their life and what is a problem in their life. Now, how do you really amplify this pain and problem that you just found out about them? The best way to do it is let them think, right? Let your audience think, and here's how to make them think, right? So this is the person, they watch some video, and let's just say that the goal of the video is to telling them that using human psychology is the best way to sign high ticket clients, right? And so here's how I will try and convey this message through the video so that they feel the pain being amplified, right? There is a reason why six-figure coaches steal your clients, right? So this is kind of chain of belief that I will follow throughout my video. There is a reason why six-figure coaches steal your clients. They understand your clients better than you understand them. And even if you do understand them, you are not able to make the personal relationship with them, which you should be making, and they make relationship with your client really well. And just because these six-figure coaches understand human psychology, they are able to create a really good personal relationship with your clients, and that is how they steal your clients, right? So in this video, I would try and use jealousy as an emotion to create the fear of losing all of your clients, and I will tell them like how their life will look like, and this will amplify their pain and they will book calls, right? Hopefully. Second thing is understanding confidence. The next roadblock of why people usually don't book calls or don't take action is because their lack of confidence in your abilities to deliver on your services, right? So without any like telling you that do this or do that, I'm just going to tell you some tactical stuff. First way to induce confidence is conviction, right? This is really important. Whatever claim you're making in your videos, say it with conviction, right? Because if you do not do it with conviction, it will be almost impossible for you to induce confidence in your audience. So let's just say like I was creating this video with saying like a different tone, you probably wouldn't believe me, right? Second way to induce confidence is with your offer. Well, this should be the first way because it's really, really, really important, This is the best and the most important way to induce confidence in your audience. Offer something that is extremely, extremely desirable, and do guarantees if possible, right? But only in like certain situations. But yeah, like topic for another video, but I think like your offer is like really big way to just like do it, right? And then the last thing we have is like giving testimonials and proof, as I have done throughout the video. I hope you have confidence in me, and even if you don't have, just book the call and you will then have, right? Third way to book calls is inducing trust. Okay, so let me go to the basics, right? Because like trust is really, really important, I would say, after offer. So let me just begin with it, right? So how do you trust a person? When they share a secret with you, or when you meet their family, parents especially, right? Basically, you trust a person the most when they share or do something for you that they don't usually do with everyone, right? So how do you implement this in your business? Well, Instagram stories is one way to do it. You can also do this with YouTube post, right? The first step is to post an Instagram story, something like this. Hey, if you want to learn the best cold email template, DM me some keyword and I'm gonna give you the access to a video that is not available to everyone, right? Now we told them that if they DM us some keyword, we are gonna send them something that is special for them, right? Now psychologically, once they get this thing, they will be like, I just got access to something that no one else have, right? So we built a personal relationship with them, right? You understand? Now the key part is the way you send this video. Charlie Morgan does it. So what he does is like he will take his YouTube video, he will upload it into Google Drive, and then he will create something like this pitching you, and yeah, you will book call and it will feel like this video was not available on YouTube. Well, in reality it is, but viewers rarely would know about it, right? So this is how you do the hardest part in the easiest way possible, right? So you now know exactly how to induce action from your audience, which is to book calls, right? So next way to like really book calls from your YouTube videos, or the next first principle, is like the most important rule that you should understand. The bitter truth is YouTube has now gotten a lot more difficult than it used to be. So which is why like it becomes really important for you to separate yourself from the crowd, right? Which is as soon as possible. So let me give you some bird level perspective of what's happening right now. Everyone is just saying the same thing, right? This is the best outreach method, or Instagram story sequence, or all these things. Everyone knows about it, right? If you're just saying the same thing, then to people you are just another person making videos trying to get their money, right? Understand that if you keep saying the same shit, you are just another noise in the market, and that is the last thing you want to be, right? You have to be the black sheep in your niche so that you differentiate yourself from the crowd, right? So how do you do it? The best way, in my opinion, is to defining your YouTube pillars. So here's an example of what I think Charlie Morgan's YouTube pillar would be: client acquisition, human psychology, productivity and focus and mindset, which is what makes him unique, which is why Charlie Morgan is unique than everyone else, because he is different in all these areas than everyone else, right? And look, I'm gonna tell you how to create yours, but like now once you understand YouTube pillars, what you do is like you start playing and combining different YouTube pillars while making the video, and you will come out to be unique every single time. So for example, my videos, even if I frick a lot with my YouTube pillars, my content comes out to be different. It could be better or worse in terms of value, but it's just different than other people, right? And if you stayed till here, you know why you have stayed, right? So not these are not fixed, you can change them in the future, but for now just understand that um, which topic interests you naturally, and where you can easily eat your competition, and then just create your YouTube pillars around these topics, right? And just imagine that once you do it, you will be so far different from all these guys saying that AI is the next big thing, or like all these BS, right? Another way on how to like book calls from YouTube video is defining the chain of belief, right? You have to know what's the purpose of the video. Even if it's to book calls, you have to understand your idea really well. Then and only then you will begin with the creation of this chain of belief, which is insanely important, because related to the idea of your videos, your viewers will have some limiting belief or false belief that you either have to debunk or you have to replace those beliefs, right? So for example, my most viewed video, or my any video, my chain of belief would kind of be, I want to give you a desirable outcome, which is why I put the new way of getting high ticket clients. It is a desirable outcome. Next thing is like I should separate myself from the crowd, which I just taught you how to do it. Then the third thing is like I have to show you that you cannot ever do it from yourself, right? Which I will talk about later, and it's really really important and fun, right? Next thing is I will try and show like a system, and I will try and create a need for the system, right? And then the last step would be like to really have you like me as a person, and then you will book call, right? So understand that chain of belief is really important step in creating a killer video. So here's how to do it step by step for your own video. Step 1, define your audience, right? Understand the people in your niche as well as you can, and do it in depth, right? Do insane detailed research on them. Second step, create your desired outcome for the video. State the end goal or the result you want from the video. Third step is understand the false belief or limiting belief, right? That your audience might have related to the desired outcome, and replace or debunk those beliefs depending on what belief it is, right? Chain of belief is really important, and like we talked about this earlier here, right? So you now know like how important chain of belief is. Last way on how to book calls: make it impossible for your audience to do everything by themselves, right? Now look, the thing is like even after watching the video, if right now at the end of the video you are feeling like I can do it by yourself, or like you can do it by yourself, I have kind of not done this step right, because like I want to create a need, in your mind for myself, right? If you don't need me, you would not book call, which is why like I have to subconsciously tell you that you cannot ever do this by yourself. Now, it's not a ego reason. I mean, is it ethical? Well, look, in all honesty, you can book calls by yourself, right? It's not that difficult. But the thing is, like, you will waste years of your life, or at least like few months, and you might not just get it, right? Which is why, like, I not just save you time, I also somehow save you money, right? Which is why, like, at your level, your money should work for you, right? Which is why, like, you should book a call from description, at least now, right? So, you have to intentionally make it complex for them to do it themselves. How to do it? Tell them the cost of doing everything themselves, right? And yes, there should be a cost. I mean, like, if you try and do all this yourself, you now know, bro, like how difficult it's gonna be. And I'm not even exaggerating it, right? I mean, like, you know how difficult it's gonna be. And then tell them, like, make them really live in that moment where they have tried everything by themselves and still failed. And I'm gonna try and make you imagine the situation of where you implemented the stuff on this video by yourself and you still sign 0 clients and you waste 7 months of your life, which is why you should book a call, right? So that is how you do it. And that was it for the video. I hope it really made sense, and I'm not just gonna, say anything more on it. I think like that was enough. If you like it, there is button for it below. You can subscribe to the channel. Other than that, if you got a video idea on your mind, let me know, and if I can, I will create a video on that, right? So yeah.